Today we are going to learn a very interesting thing about malware analysis for incident responder. Now you might be thinking, why as an incident responder I need to do malware analysis? It is very much important because to take the right decision you need to know about the static, dynamic, entropy and lot of the things about the particular sample. But doing malware analysis is not a piece of cake, guys. It requires real amount of time, knowledge, patience and lot of things. So incident responder might have to be quick enough, and time is the only enemy for them to understand all of the properties for a malware. So in today's episode we are going to cover everything, starting from static property analysis, then dynamic property analysis, and we will also see how you can represent your data in a graphical representation manner which can attract and which can help the people to grasp whatever you have analyzed. And most important thing, guys, we are going to explore a product which can help you to automate all of the work that you have been doing. It can cover the static, dynamic analysis, everything. It can give you the entropy, and not only that, it can help you to automate your incident response and threat hunt job to give you a full blown platform which you can leverage in your day-to-day life. So yeah, let's not wait any further time. We are starting right now. So let me take you to my console over here. The first thing and what exactly we are going to do over here. So we have a sample that is collected, and this sample actually came as a phishing email to me. So I thought to let's give it a try, and I have created an episode where actually I have explained what are the tools that is required for creating a lab, right? So you can check that out. I'll leave the link in the description. Okay, so the first thing is that, as I told you, to understand the static properties of that particular sample, right? So how we can do that? So for doing that, we have a really awesome tool that is called pestudio. Okay, so I'll launch the tool up, and so the tool actually gives you very in detail information about a particular file, what is the file all about and all those stuff. Okay, so the file has been loaded. It's pretty simple. Either you can do it from this file option like open file window, or you can simply drag that particular file and load it up, right? So now just looking at the first page itself, so you are getting all of the properties which are basically important for an incident responder, like to identify the MD5, SHA value, SHA-25, 256, SHA-1 and all those stuff. So and all there are some other stuffs also available. So first, byte on text. So you see there is an MZ header. So obviously this is an executable file, and you see there is a signature also available, and there are entry points, there are compiler stamps. So when this particular file has been compiled, so those stuffs has also been given, and obviously you can see this is an executable file and it is a 32-bit executable file, right? So you get most of the static information. Now if you come to this particular section as an indicator, so you will get to know about the levels of the particular indicator which is high to consider is as a like malware or suspicious sample. Okay, so if you see and if you go through, or you can try any of the sample and load that particular sample up in pestudio, so you will see that what are the indicators basically it is considering for this particular sample to be as high. So 1 means high, obviously. So the file reference things tag as blacklisted, so obviously it is matching some blacklist properties. File is code in VirusTotal, right? So it is an again important thing. So if you come here to this particular thing, you will see that this particular file is being matched with all of the engines in VirusTotal. So you don't need to go into VirusTotal and submit that particular file, or even search for that particular hash itself, right? So you are getting that information itself over here. So the file is contain another file. So obviously signature is Delphi, location, offset. So that is also an indicator. Okay, and the count imports is suspicious. Okay, so when a particular file gets executed into your machine, so either it could be a packed one, it could be of entropy, higher entropy, or it could be a lower entropy, right? So it depends on what are the things that is important. So if you come to this particular section, what are the import that, or what are the another file that that is containing over here. You come to here, you see there is a resource section over here, right? So if you see this particular file is loading up this particular signature of Delphi resource, right? So there is an MD5 hash over here as well, right? So you can just simply check this hash. So I'm not gonna do that. You can check it in VirusTotal if you want to understand this tool fully. Okay, so I'm just cutting this video short just to give you the overview of how basically you can understand about the static properties of this particular sample using pestudio, right? So you might not need anything else. Okay, so there are other options also available. If you can see the DOS header, as simple as that. There are DOS stubs as well, you can check into that. And the most important thing is that the strings. Okay, so what are the strings and which file offset location that string is actually located, right? So now if you can sort that particular thing out as well. So there are three things. It could be something false positive as well, but yeah, again, so that's the reason for our like malware incident responder come into play, right? So that's pretty much all about. So now we will see in a second how basically you can understand about the important factors of string analysis of a particular sample. But yeah, so you can get the hint out of it, right? Okay, so again, if you go to this particular section of like file header, as I told you, you can understand about all those things. Now in another example, you might see these exceptions, TLS callbacks, and all those information also available for you guys. But for this particular section, we don't have anything. And you see there is no certificate. So that's another symbol for this particular thing being compromised or suspicious, right? Okay, so this is all about pestudio. You can explore the tool. You can explore any kind of sample of your own. Now moving on to our second process of analysis. So this was our the promotion1.exe, and this is my shipped workstation. So what I am gonna do, just let me open up a terminal over here quickly, and let me show you what exactly I'm gonna do. So I told you about the string analysis, right? Now the important thing, there is a tool called floss. Okay, so it's just run like that, so you can have it. So it's because it is getting error, so because I haven't specified any of the information, right? So if I floss tag H, so it will give you the all of the information of this particular tool, right? So the tool is open source. You can download it from GitHub, or you can anyway install the executable version as well. Okay, so what this particular tool will do, so what I am gonna do, so I have the promotion1 file over here, right? So I'm just gonna parse this particular file using floss. And what exactly floss is doing, so floss is going through all of the strings of that particular file, how this particular thing, particular sample is important for you, and what are the interesting thing over here. So right, so if I scroll to the up totally, so you will see that there are options, right? This obviously this program must run under Windows 32, that is a executable binary, and there are things like which you might be interesting on, right? So expected memory leak, that is obviously something, so and that is mentioned in the string, so right, so that could be suspicious for you. Now you can go through these callbacks, right? So there are callbacks, so these are the important things to look for. It is using user32.dll, and there are a lot of callbacks that is getting used in this particular memory sample, right? And that is specified in the memory in the sample string value itself, right? So these are the interesting factors to consider, and forget about all those stuff. So floss is giving you all of the strings that is important for you for an incident responder to identify. What exactly floss will do? Now floss will try to give you the low hanging fruit, what exactly is present in the sample, so that you can use that particular analysis, and you can get your IOCs, you can extract your IOCs what are important for your analysis. Okay, so that's about floss. Okay, so let's move on. So there is another tool that I use daily. That tool is called basically capa. Okay, so what exactly the capa will do? Capa will it's quite similar. So this tool will load the properties of that particular program, and the tool will give you the matching strings, properties, capabilities, MITRE mapping, what are the things that is important from a behavioral perspective. So it is not loading that particular file into so it's not a dynamic analysis first of all, but from the properties, from the function, so it is basically bifurcating the overall sample, and it is trying to identify what are the techniques. As you see, there is two techniques, discovery and execution, because it is querying the registry. Okay, so it is giving you the TTP information as well. So command and scripting interpreter, that's very important. And you see there are MVC objects that is also available, like how many file it writes, what are the registry it creates, then how many threads that file is basically storing. So all of the information this file is probably giving you, and it is giving you the capability depending on how this file should actually work, right? So it's a really important thing if you just want to understand without executing the file how this file basically works. Okay, so yeah, so I believe that's pretty much it from the static property analysis, guys. So now let's move on to our next section where we will see the dynamic analysis in the easiest way. Okay, so we are back and we are using the dynamic analysis now. So the first tool that I'll be using is process monitor. So I haven't started the execution yet and I am not capturing any process, so that's why you are not seeing anything over here. But most importantly, please note the way actually you will be doing the analysis, we will be seeing the overall expansion in a graphical interface. Okay, so for doing that you need to make sure the first option in the filter, this enable advanced output, is not checked. Okay, so by default it is not checked, but make sure that is not there. Okay, second thing is that if you go to the option section, you will see that this show resolved network addresses would be checked by default, so you need to make sure this is also unchecked. Okay, and the third thing is that if you go to the select column over here, you will see there is an option called sequence number. Okay, so you need to make sure this option is also unchecked. Okay, so if these three things are done, so you are ready. And for capturing the network traffic, what this particular process or this particular sample will be doing, I am using Fiddler. You can use Wireshark as well if you want to capture the process monitor accordingly with the packet capture. Okay, so you can use that as well. And process hacker, another tool that I am using, which gives by default a beautiful tree kind of representation of what are the current process that is running on my system and stuff like that. Okay, so I will be using these three tools parallelly. So now we are ready almost, and we are about to execute this particular tool. Okay, so for execution for this particular tool, and again I am using a virtual machine, so make sure you prepare your lab well before analyzing or detonating any of the malware. Again, go back to my lab creation episode, make sure you have your lab setup ready, and after that only play with the malwares. Okay, so what exactly I need to do over here, so I am starting the capture as of now, and I am going to execute this particular process. Okay, so now if you see the process has been executed and you see it's got deleted as of now. Okay, so what I will do, I will try to just see if anything over here is happening. So you see there has a red flag that went through, right? So that means there has been process created, right? So if you see here, there is nothing much that I can see over here, but I will let the tool run for some time. Okay, so I believe that's point of time that is enough. So what I can do, I can now basically stop the packet capture or the process monitoring process. And what exactly I need to do now, I will be executing and exporting this overall fields in a CSV format. Okay, so the file is already there. Now the interesting part, guys. So what exactly we are going to do, let me close off the Fiddler as well. Now there is a tool called proc.dot. Okay, so this tool will give you the graphical representation of what had been shown so far. Okay, now there are some third-party library that this particular tool uses. So this particular tool needs a graph viz for plotting your process in a graphical manner. So I'll leave the link in the description, and just make sure about this path. So once you install that particular third-party plugin, so make sure you give this particular path into your proc.dot. And if you are using Wireshark to capture the TCP dump, make sure you give that path for the TCP dump as well. Okay, so for me, I am not providing the TCP dump over here, otherwise it will be a really big graph. So what I am going to do over here, just I am just opening the procmon file over here. I'll just click this 3 ellipses over here and I'll be loading the log file over here. Okay, so once that is loaded, what I am gonna do, I am gonna click this particular launcher option again, the ellipses over here. So what it is doing, it is analyzing the procmon file, right? So now you see there are 3 options. Okay, so what are the process name that I want to choose to prepare the graph as a starting process? So obviously I remember promotion1.exe was my file. I'm not sure about this file, so I'll choose this particular thing off. Okay, so I'll be double clicking on that particular file. So you see this particular launcher has been created and I don't need path. I want the graph to be compressed, so I just tick those 2 options and I'll just hit refresh. Okay, so it will take a minute to load the graph in a graphical representation. And now see you guys, so this is a heavy interesting thing, so that you can even understand how this particular executable actually behaved in your sandbox. Okay, so what exactly I am doing over here, so let me quickly scroll through first thing. So you see promotion.exe was our executable file. It created a thread, then it created a process. Okay, so promotion1.exe, right? So it created a process. Next thing is moving on, so it created another thread and that created a temporary file in that location. So right, so you can see that how basically it is so beautifully given, and what are the process has been created, what are the thread has been created. It's everything written over here, right guys? So what we can do, we can simply drag our mouse over here, and if you see what are the other executable, what are the registry this file has been written, everything has been given over here, right? So what are the files, what are the thread created, everything is listed over here, right? So it is very interesting to see in a full-fledged manner from the procmon, because analyzing procmon can be tricky at the point of time. So this particular tool gives you a full feasibility in terms of what actually happened in the backend. Okay, so I have moved my frame to the actual beginning, and now if you see this full blown thing, what exactly this thing is happening, how the overall architecture worked, and what exactly this execution, how the way this execution happened, it is giving you the exact thing. Okay, so it is telling you the exe has been created, then the process has been created, then this temporary file has been deleted. Okay, so then there are this file has also been deleted, then there are process auto start has been launched, then this file has been dropped, then what exactly we are doing over here, then you will see the way exactly this thing happened. So this particular process was executing through threads, right? So that's the reason it was quite a long time it was executing. Now the red lines define what exactly been deleted, and the green line defines when the process was created and how basically it was created, right? So you can anyway pause the particular animation and you can see what exactly the thing is happened. So it is currently running by in 10 fps, but if you want, you can export it, you can decrease the overall process, and you can exactly exactly think how this process actually worked at the back end. Okay, and the interesting part is that you can even export this particular thing, save as, or export this particular thing in a proc.session manner, or even you can it's quite simple, right? You can take a snapshot and you can prepare your report and attach this particular thing into your report, right? So it's so easy, guys, right? Okay, so that's pretty much it from the dynamic analysis in a manual way. Now let us see the interesting part, guys, how basically we can automate this whole process, and you can do the threat hunting, you can do the incident response in an automated fashion using our tool called Intezer. Okay, so I have created several posts about Intezer. Now let us actually see how you can leverage and you can use Intezer into your day-to-day life and do all of those steps in an automated way to save your time as well. Okay guys, so this is the product that I was talking about, where you whatever the actions that you have already taken, you can automate everything. Okay, so this tool and product is Intezer, and I have talked in past as well about this tool. So jumping to the directly about the feature and the capabilities of the product. So you are getting the capabilities or upload a file, upload an URL, and so these are the main two things for while we talk about a live sample analysis or anything could be a sandbox solution, right? So let me quickly go to any of my analyst file that I have already analyzed. So the way that we have analyzed our promotion.1.exe, right? So if you just open the analysis tab, whatever we have seen in our manual way of analysis, you see everything has been incited over here, right? So it's a simple matter of second that this file, this product will scan through your file, scan through your submitted sample, and it will give you all of the information, right? So you can see dynamic execution is powered by capa, and we have also used the capa in a manual way, right? But the tool is doing it automatically. It is giving you the memory execution process, what exactly this particular file can do harm, right? So and you see there is a promotion.exe got dropped the way that we have seen in proc dot, right? What are the other dropped files? Exactly, this is also malicious, right? So now if you see, there are the TTPs, okay? So exactly this thing we have observed from the cape, okay? So these are the basic TTPs and MITRE techniques. The way this particular product is giving, it's phenomenal, okay? So if you come back to the IOCs again, so these two things are your IOCs, right? So this is creating a temporary file into your temp location, right? So you can go back and you can check what exactly has happened. And if you come to the behavioral section, you will see the process tree kind of structure, right? So we have observed similar thing in proc dot, but this tool is giving you a better execution format and better template in the such way, right? So what are the file activity, what are the written files, what are the deleted files, what are the registry activity, everything you are getting. So you might not need to dig further and to identify what went wrong, okay? So now you can tell me, okay, so this is nothing but a sandbox, right? But hold on, so this tool is not only about sandbox, they have different other capabilities as well, right? Now what do I mean by that? Now if you come to the detect and hunt, so that is also in beta, right? So I am using enterprise solution. Now if you are using an enterprise solution, you will see that as well. Now if you see in the left hand section, this is a pane of pyramid, guys. So what do I mean by pane of pyramid? So there are like in a threat hunt process, so the bottom section where you see these 11 portions like file delete, file read, and registry read, these are easy to identify. Now once you move to the top, it is difficult for you to identify. Now the process tree and what are the different things that has been changed on the machine after you executed that file, it is very, very difficult to identify. Now this tool is giving you this pane of pyramid structure, and you can create your sigma rule, right? So you can deploy your SIEM solution in this particular sigma rule. And not only that, if you just go to this particular section, you will okay, so let me choose another example. So I have tons of analysis that I have done. Okay, so if I choose another promotion.exe, and you see this is an emoted sample that I have tested over, and this is a clear classification, guys. So at times in online sandbox, you won't be seeing this kind of clear classification, but this tool is giving you the clear classification in a very stealthy way, right? So it is very important. Now if you see this particular section, so the way you can do the hunting, you can download your RARA rule and you can download your sticks, taxi, every damn rule to capture and go to your SIEM and deploy them and to perform your hunt, right? So there are very limited tool available in the market which can give you this kind of capability, right? So Yara has been downloaded to my machine. So similarly, you can do OpenIOC sticks and sticks 2 as well, right? So that is interesting. Now comes the main part, guys. So this, as I told you, this is not only about sandbox, right? So you can scan your endpoint and you can scan your live memory, what is being executed on your machine. So this particular tool is like it gives you a very lightweight kind of simple binary. You don't even need to install it, right? So I have downloaded that thing. Okay, so if you want to scan any endpoint or stuff like that, so what you need to do, you can simply go to this endpoint, you can scan endpoint, and you can download their endpoint scanner. It is a 7 MB file and it is very fast. Okay, so what I have done, this was my sandbox solution where I have detonated that particular file, and if you see, I have the scanner over here, right? So once I just double click on that particular scanner, so what it will do, it will ask you to put your API key. Okay, it's very easy at this point of time. So you can go back to your account, you can come here to your account section, and you can create your API key over here, right? So once you have your API key, you can simply paste it over here, and you see the scan has been started. Okay, so it is collecting the process info, it is collecting the module info, everything has been processed, right? So now if I go back to my screen, and if I want to show you what are the endpoint that I have already scanned, and you see this is being analyzed right now. So I have scanned already 2 of my machines, 2 of my VMs that I was running. Now this was the VM that we have infected in this particular episode, right? So you see this is infected, right? So now if you go to this analysis section, the way this particular scanner will capture its artifacts, it's phenomenal. So you see it is giving as Darkomat. So I didn't even know that I was handling a Darkomat sample, right? Because while I was analyzing that particular sample manually, it gave me the probable architecture of that particular malware, how that malware behaves, right? But this product is telling me it is like 0.27% of matching with the Darkomat. It is matching with some other malicious binaries as well. So it is a gene classification, guys. So the way it is analyzing the files, it has a huge amount of database, and it is doing it automatically, right? It might have some ML algorithm at the back end which keeps on manipulating and which keeps on matching your sample with the already present sample. Right now if you come back, you will see that okay, this is a Office 16 file and link.exe. I had downloaded some like a pirated version of Office in my VM just to play around with it. So it is capturing the link.exe as malicious file, right? So it is replaced in the memory, and you can see that the injected memory file in exclusion in the memory as well, right? So this particular tool is really phenomenal in terms of scanning your endpoints, right? So that's a huge thing for you whenever you get any kind of alert on your SIEM platform, and you suspect a particular machine is suspicious, might be your EDR is not giving you the enough information. You just use this simple lightweight scanner and you scan your live memory. It is scanning your volatile data as well, right? So just to remember, you see if you come to this particular section, you see dumping memory modules, collecting process info, running processes, and all those stuffs. It is matching with it, right? So if I press the enter key or any key at this point of time, it will complete the scan and it will dump this particular analysis in the portal, right? So it is awesome, guys. And another beautiful thing is it has lot of features of the integration, right? So that the thing is main important for the SOC people right now. Okay, so you can see you can integrate this tool with Sentinel, you can integrate with the SOAR as well, right? So Cortex XDR, which and Simplify, Fortinet, Swimlane, and even the Hive, guys. So now this particular tool gives me the real hype to use in my open source SOC solution and to populate this as a EDR solution, and I can play around with the Hive as well, right? So that's a really good thing for me. I can try out sometime in future, right? Okay, and other security tool integration as well. So you are getting the integration with IDAPRO, Ghidra, Maltego, Intel Owl, and Malware Bazaar. So the way this platform is giving you a full scope So again, I am telling you, this is not something like malware analysis platform, guys. So it is more than that, right? So new capabilities it is introducing as like detect and hunt, as I showed you. It's still in beta, but it will release this soon. And the EDR integration, right? The way it is doing the integration with the SIEM solution, automate the alert triage process, right? So how basically it can triage your alert. So once you have integrated this particular solution with your SIEM, the way the SIEM is pumping your alert, it can automatically identify what is wrong inside your alerts, inside your endpoints, right? So that is phenomenal. And the knowledge retention is very, very important in this particular platform, where it remembers every single piece of information, right? It remembers the artifact, it remembers the similarities of your sample that you have submitted into your tool, right? It is awesome. And if you come here to the plugins option, you see there are Clone, IDA Pro, Hydra and volatility plugins also available, so you can analyze them as well. So main interesting feature what I loved about the tool beyond the sandbox, because VirusTotal, AnyRun, those kind of platform also gives me this feature, right? To dump the file, dump the URL and stuff like that. But I cannot scan an endpoint, right? So that's a bigger thing. I cannot integrate those tools with my SIEM solution, and I cannot play my hunting directly. I at point of time I can get the Yara rules, Sigma rules from other platforms as well, but this particular platform will help you by matching up with your SIEM solution, integrating with them, and get the enrichment of the data. This tool will do all the job for you, right? So yeah, so I believe you have learned about the tool. Now it's time for you guys to sign up and start using the tool. So again, I am telling you, first start using the tool, start using the feature. By default you will get around, I believe, 50 odd sample submission. But again, as I told you, right, so this tool is beyond malware analysis platform, right? So you can do a lot of things. You can install the plugins, you can test out the integration, and very soon I'll be testing the integration with my open source SOAR solution as well, and I will let you know how this thing actually works. And this tool has a lot of API documentation as well, which is really, really simple, and it makes this particular platform in like a better comparing to the others market solution whatever we have already, right? So yeah, so I believe you have learned about the tool. Right now go check out the link in the description, sign up and start your activity. Yeah guys, so that's pretty much it about today's episode. I hope you have enjoyed the session. You have learned something about static dynamic analysis and how easily you can do that using Intezer. Okay, so I'd encourage you to sign up today itself. It's absolute free if you want to leverage and learn about Intezer, and latter point of time again you can reach out to your SOC manager, you can reach out to your boss that you need an enterprise license as well. Okay, so believe me guys, this particular platform is not only giving you a malware analysis solution, so they are not kind of thing as like VirusTotal. So they are giving you a full-blown platform to automate your job as an incident responder. Also you can perform the malware analysis, you can do the threat hunt using the Sigma rule that I have shown you, and you can create the sticks taxi properties, you can download the Sigma rules and you can implement them in your SIEM platform. And I really love the pane of pyramid architecture, the way they are basically bifurcating the data that has been present on any kind of endpoint, right? And most importantly, they are giving you the properties to understand a memory sample. Okay, so that's big enough, right? So use the tool and let me know how you feel about the whole process. First learn about the things doing manually, then understand the ways for doing things in Intezer, right? So sign up today and let me know if you have anything for me, and before even leaving, subscribe to Black Pearl so that you can get notification about all of the informative videos. Share my videos to your peers, and what else is left? I believe, yeah, obviously give me a thumbs up if you have liked that particular video. I'll catch you guys next time. Stay healthy, stay safe.